Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Cirque Creative channel. I've got a really cool video idea for today. I'm basically going to dig out all my old Blackbooks, all my old photos and all my old stickers, running back probably around 6 years. I started graphing around 2013, so I've got a load of just stuff. I always recommend to keep your art, no matter how long you've been doing it, just keep it somewhere. Like a lot of my loose sketches I just keep in this shoebox that's also falling apart, and then anything I did in books I've kept, but I also recommend to always date your work, because I'm going to try and show it in like the order of which it was done, but it's kind of hard because a lot of this, because I was so young and stupid, I just didn't date anything. So you can kind of tell what order I did it in by the way it like progresses, I guess. But I'll try my best to show it in the order it is. But I haven't had a look at any of this stuff in absolute years either, so a lot of it's kind of fresh to me as well. But anyway, I'll try and find the first black book and we'll get into the viewing. Right, so I'm pretty sure that this is the first black book. I'm pretty sure I probably got this as like a present or something, this book, and it's really old and tatty, but even straight away you can just see that I was a bit of a toy and a bit of a nerd. Like, I used to stick like the things out of the materials off here. Don't know what that is, but yeah, a few of my original hand styles. So I basically started writing SERP straight away, and it's kind of stuck. I know a lot of people like change their name through the years and things to keep things fresh, but I haven't really felt the need to do that. I've always really enjoyed the name, and yeah, I haven't really felt the need to change anything. But as you can tell, massive toy here with the tags. No idea what I was doing. Try and put like a little halo on it with the green. Obviously I had like loads of loose sketches at the time, which obviously I just binned because I didn't like how they were going. But yeah, this was like the kind of first book that I like put the time into, like each thing. Like each one of these I probably spent hours on, but looking back, yeah, not really sure what I was doing. I'm pretty sure I probably used like some font generator to help me with this. Like, looking back, it's just really bad. This was a big thing as well with me, the serpent. So SERP was always shortened from serpent, of the snake. I'm not even sure that's a serpent snake. I don't know what that is. But that was always a big thing for me. I also found inside this book when I picked it up this, which I always remember doing. It was on the back of a cereal cardboard, and I thought this at the time was absolutely amazing. Looking back on it, it's not, but I'm always going to keep that. Yeah, so let's get into this book. I'll try and go through it a bit faster than what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah, so basically, no idea what I'm doing. You know, there's 3D in there. There is principles like of good graph in there. Just the structure's all terrible and the scheme, and yeah, I was basically just using Sharpies at this point. God. Yeah, I was basically just using Sharpies at this point, I think. Couldn't really afford anything else. Yeah, once again, Skyline. I used to always watch videos of people doing those, so I guess that was kind of brought into mine. Hand style again, $sign. And then I tried a few other things, like try and experiment with different letters. So I wrote music here, 2014. This is when, like, I guess I started putting more time into this kind of structure. Like, this E and this S aren't actually that bad at all. But then the R looks terrible. Yeah, there again. I actually remember drawing this like it was yesterday. Bear in mind, it was like 5-6 years ago. Yeah. There's that one there. Don't actually mind that one too bad, but you know, it is still terrible. But considering I literally just started at the time, I don't actually think it's that bad. trying to go a bit faster through this book. Yeah, here we go. I used to always like doing this, like kind of drawing the brickwork and pretending it was like a proper like thing, and I'll try to make it more like a throw up, but you can tell it's not very good. This was when I first started getting Molotovs. I remember I got my first white one, and I'd use it for highlighters and just way over the top of everything with it. That was a piece I did for Scythe. Wow, 2014 Scythe piece. This was for a drawing battle, I think, which obviously I didn't even get noticed for, because look at this. But at the time, you know, I thought this was the bits. I thought this was absolutely sick. This is paint markers, so probably Molotovs there, I think, or probably some just cheap Uniposca or something else. Yeah. And this, I remember this one like it was yesterday as well. First time ever using spray paint. My dad had some gold paint he was using for something, and there was some left, and I basically drew this and then put a bit of card on and sprayed around outside, and I thought it was absolutely sick at the time. Yeah, this one, don't know what's going on there. I always like drawing the things in the background. First time I ever put like some time into the scheme. Working with greens there. But yeah, that's the first book, and at the time I was really proud of this book. I guess I still am, you know. So that's the first book. I'll try and find the second book, which is here. So this is the second book. As you can tell still, yeah, a bit of a nerd. I used to love the Iron Lac limited editions. I could never afford them, but I used to love them, so I used to stick them on the front, and then yeah, some really, I've always loved that piece there. But yeah, I found this was Blackbook 2 because I actually wrote Blackbook 2, Serp Cracks, 2014. So yeah, first time experimenting with cracks, I guess. Again, way over the top of the highlights, structure all off. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Oh, this was something, I tried to be a bit arty with this one, so I'd like pump the Posca and then like using my finger to create this. I thought it was sick, but obviously not. What is that? I don't even know if that's a word. There's an S, two S's, an I. No idea what that says. You know, this isn't actually that bad, you know. This is what you need to do when you're first starting graph, is to keep things really blocky and like straight. If I would have just practiced straight letters like this, I would have been a lot better than them, instead of, you know, going straight into this thinking you're creating some kind of massive wild style and it looking trash. Just simple stuff like this. And I also like the buildings in this as well. Tag, still a load of shit. You know, it has got kind of similarities to the way I am at the moment. Obviously just a lot better, but the way I have the lowercase e that goes into the R, and then the bottom of the R comes up back into the P. Obviously I now know fundamentals, and, you know, I've studied typography a lot. But, yeah, you know, you can see how it's developed over the years. This was very iconic. This was my first ever YouTube drawing. So all the other stuff, you know, I just did, but this was my first ever speed art. I used the family's digital camera to do it. I actually got a Posca pen to do the fill, and at the time I thought this was amazing. It's got a vanishing point 3D. It's got the orange and the blue, which goes nicely, but it is terrible. But at the time I thought this was amazing. But then here you go, like this is probably the same day as something like this, but like the fact that I've taken something, just the S and the P, and just completely simplified them, you can just, it's so much better. And that's what I recommend to anyone doing like art, starting off. Just don't rush in and think you can just straight away do something sick, because just do something basic and you'll get a lot more like fulfillment from it, because it will look good. It's better like to do something like this, which is simple and like people tell you it's good, whereas to do something like this, which you think is good, but it's just not. Obviously, I'll point out a few errors in this piece. Firstly, the structure's all wrong. Take this R, for example. In an R, the leg should kick out from up here. And there shouldn't be a kind of gap here. The leg should kick out from here and sort of flow down. It's all the 3Ds wrong. If this is a straight down 3D, they should all be going straight down. You know, we've got angles coming off here. These ones are going at different angles there. The highlights are all wrong. This E, I don't even want to talk about, but all the highlights are wrong. You know, we've got a highlight that goes all the way around that. You know. What was I thinking? Same again there, basically. No structure to it. I'm being a little bit harsh on myself, you know. I was like 14 at the time, and this probably isn't bad. And like someone who doesn't know graffiti or doesn't know lettering at all, they'll probably think that's cool. And that was me. So here, you know, it's a bit more simple, you know. If I would have kept it all with this S kind of style, it would have been nice. But then over here, I just tried to stylize it all way too much, and it's been blown out. I actually think this is quite good. It's simple. I really like the R. That R is quite cool. But other than that, look at the T. That is just breaking the structure completely. But other than that, Vanishing Point 3D, obviously took my time with a ruler, looked really good. Still at 2014 here. Wow, this was another iconic one for me. This was when I first started my Instagram page, and this was the first thing I posted on there. I did I drew like a mop that I thought was sick, did like a drippy tag, and then the piece, which isn't too bad, I guess. You know, the structure's getting a bit better, but still I'd add some horrible extensions like this, and what is that? And the arrow. I wasn't like one of those, you know, the starting off toys that just adds arrows and everything. I wasn't like that, but yeah, I did a few. And I think that's it. Oh no, we got one more. That one, which I think was also a speed art for YouTube, my second speed art maybe. Yeah, not good. Okay, so here we are with the third Black Book, 2015 here. There must have been other stuff in between, but I just can't find it. I guess I kind of, at the time when I realised things were bad, I kind of chucked them out, which is a bit annoying. But here we go. As you can see, definitely getting better. I'll try and bring up one of the... let's get out the first book. So just like a year, you can sort of see the difference. Structure, the kind of colouring, the 3D. I learned that don't rush things, you know. Put some proper time in. This was also around the time when I was starting to get some much better materials as well. I think this was my first set of pro markers, and I was like, oh yes, I can like blend the orange, and obviously it doesn't look great, but you know, I was just happy to be able to do that. Also experimenting with new words, style here. I think every toy's written that once when they were doing something. But yeah, Vanishing Point 3D, he's keeping it simple, it's not too bad. Risk. Right, this was a big turning point for me. I started writing Risk a few times just to spice things up, and also my first ever painted piece of graffiti was the word Risk, and it was this piece here. I saved up and I got myself a big pack of iron lacs, and I painted my bedroom wall with this piece here. Obviously it did not turn out anything like that, and it was terrible, and I had no cam control. I didn't know what I was doing, so it came out all thick. Here's a piece that says dark. I'm not sure why. It's a Montana black drawing can there, drawing of the can, which I don't actually think is that bad considering the time. This piece says, I think it was supposed to say iron lac, because I've written iron lac there and it ends in AK, but it looks like IMTILAK. I honestly don't know, I cannot. But yeah, just colouring in the background because I thought I was sick. This piece here, I thought at the time that this was amazing. I had like my 14, 15-year-old self, I had this on, put this one on Instagram, and I was like, oh, it's got so many likes and all that just sounds stupid now, but like I remember I had like an inbox from a guy who redrew this with his name and all the same style, and he was like, this is the best. And looking back, it's just not. But yeah, here we go, experimenting with a bit more fills. The structure's getting a bit better. I kind of like the dots and stuff. I kind of carry that through to my work even now. And this rising sun effect, like the Japanese rising sun flag thing, I carry through to my work even now. So you can kind of see my inspiration from a long time. I feel like this is where things started to change. Like, this piece is not bad at all. There's a few bits, like all this on the P and this on the R. It's just not needed. But other than that, it flows. It sort of flows. And the fact that the vanishing point goes behind the piece, it's not glaring. And don't worry about that hand style. Even, yeah, see, you can see the structures coming out straight away. Highlights obviously way over the top. Don't know what I was doing with that. Working with a fill again. That kind of like moving effect, kind of beveled, I guess. I was trying to like learn from that. That says big. Blackbook Wild Style. This was also a YouTube video that I absolutely loved. I've been looking at a few artists that went for that kind of minimalist look where the fill was basically made of the back page and then you just add the interior details, and I thought it looked quite cool. Yeah. Trying to go through a few of these ones that has less to talk about on them. But yeah, guess sketches that never came. This is my DK drawing battle entry for like 2015. The word was star, and this was my first ever time like blending colours properly, I guess. Tried to keep it really simple with no background, and the structure is obviously a lot better than how I was at the start of the year. One thing with these sketches obviously is not all the behind the scenes stuff, like the endless scrap drawings. That was another DK drawing entry, I guess. I did two. Maybe the first one was just like a practice one. Using tans, I've always liked to use tans. Hand style, not changed much since the start. Getting a bit better, but obviously these galerish quotation marks that everyone seemed to do back then. First ever time doing a little character, and my own freestyle little character. With some old English typography that I probably copied off someone. Pieces that never came to be, and then just mess around with some markers there. Okay, and here is my black book for 2015. This is when things really kicked off for me in the way that I kind of looked at graph and I looked at how I wanted to kind of push myself. So I just practiced a ton. Straight away you can see the hand styles a lot better. I basically just get A4 sheets and just practice hand styles on them for hours and hours. And like research different typographies. I always like cursive stuff, and that carries through my work. But here we go. Here's my first time using kind of fine liners. Structure obviously really improved. Right. S and an E there. The full name, really like this piece. I remember painting this one. I took a lot of inspiration at this point from Keep 6 SDK. The way he used fine liners to always create like sharp points at the tops of his letters, I just loved it. And that was probably my biggest inspiration. He's like one of my top 3 favorite writers since forever. So you can kind of see similarities. So where I've got like the hard points and everything's really sharp. I really like that, and kind of the way things overlapped. This was another one of my favorite pieces. so I actually painted that one in green. Yeah, a lot of kind of pencil stuff. I painted this one as well in blues with grey 3D. My first time ever like shading the 3D, so you really got the definition in there. More stuff that never kind of came to be. Here's a sketch for a anti-knife crime piece I did absolutely years ago, working with my city to kind of push a good message about knife crime, and this was the sketch for it. Working with 3D on the hand style, you know, that is not too far from my hand style at the moment. I feel like once you get like a clean hand style, you kind of just keep it for years. And kind of keep adding to it. This seems to be the most repetitive book ever though. I did a lot of essays. Oh yeah, I also started using biros for stuff and just like doodling. This was all for a canvas I was doing. So you got like the broken TV, the baseball bat, a grenade, a little Mario thing, some plasters. And then back to drawing S's. So yeah, that's that book. Okay, now on to 2016. I always used to like trash my books with like white paint pens. Getting a lot better, as you can see from where we first started this video. And that was my like slogan, sour as syrup. I remember putting a lot of hours into this book. Working with hatchings behind. I painted this piece, I love that piece. Some kind of like less developed, some more developed. Some like straight letter pieces that even to this day I love. Like I think those were really good 3 years ago. Just working with shapes, different techniques. This is around the time that I was sort of taking a lot of time with the pieces. This one is one of my favorites. I think I used like ink and then pencil over the top to kind of shade it. Less developed stuff, just kind of sketchy stuff for like taking to a wall, you know, sketching the shape. I'm at the point now though where I don't really take sketches to walls anymore. Kind of just, it's kind of nice to just bring it out of your head, you know. But back then, like you can kind of tell which ones I'd taken to walls because they've got like that kind of dustiness to them. Little chrome straight letter there, really nice. Little characters. Piece for Shiva, this was a good few years ago. Piece for Voice One Arts a few years ago. John Grimm. I was really on like a little name exchange hype there. Then back into it, kind of try and do something with the bubbles. And there's the final piece in that book. This is the next book. And this is the next book from the same year, I think. this was around the time that I was getting like people asking me to do drawings for them, paintings for them. So there's a mixture of like those in there as well as another one there for Evoke. Another one there for Evoke. And the rest of that book's empty. So here's the next book. I feel like this is a jump to 2017 here. This was around the time where I was sort of becoming a bit stale with the like generic lettering I was doing. So I started pushing into typography and other kind of aspects. Really like this piece. Don't know what it is about it, I just feel like it's really bold. More kind of like futuristic style. Trying to do like big page spreads. Okay, so here's another book that I found from 2017. As you can see, when I started off, I was so obsessed with using colour. And I kind of moved into a phase of just using black and white and fine liners for everything. If you recognise this, it's actually on my channel. It's like a digital speed art. This was the original sketch from it. I think that might be it for this book. Oh, no. Straight letter piece. And then this was the point where I stopped working in books and started working on paper. And really kind of spent a year and a half just doing typography and script work. And I like would only put stuff in this folder if I was really happy with it. But you can see, like, I went into a lot of detail with these. Spent like a couple hours on each thing. This was at the point where I wanted to be like doing tattoos, so I really looked into the tattoo market of what kind of stuff did well, which was like quotes and script and things like that. So I really like try to push that. Obviously, you can still see still graffiti influences in here, but like a lot of the other stuff's like cursive and a lot of graffiti influences in here. It's probably like, yeah, there's a SERP there, spray can, snapback, chains and bolt cutters, and you know, that was always going to be like part of my work. Love letters. A few of these pieces as well, like I managed to paint, like that was one of my big pieces I did. That was one for YouTube, speed art of that. But yeah, I really enjoy, like, I'm back into the point of enjoying doing like graffiti letters as well as what I'm doing with the typography stuff. Just really enjoying all of it. And they're both helping each other, like, develop the style, develop the skills. But yeah. Yo, decided, you know, I didn't have a look through all this. I'm going to save it for another video with the one that I show the spray painted pieces in. But I've dug out these two that I want to give away to a viewer. So I'm going to be giving away those two pieces and a ton of blank slaps. We got some Hello My Name Is, we got some billboard ones and some priority mails. All you've got to do to enter is just make a comment about the video. So comment what you think about my old sketches, comment which one you think is the worst, comment which one you think is the best. Anything at all, just give me a comment, drop a like, and yeah, I can give you this. The winner I will announce in the next video. Just pop up to me on Instagram and DM me your address and I'll send all this to you. Yeah, but anyway guys, thank you for checking out the video. As I said, I'm going to do another one where I talk about the spray paint pieces, kind of like history of those, going through all the old ones. And then in that same video, I'm going to hopefully go through the shoebox of old sketches, because there's some real gems in there. But anyway guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Weekly uploads here, always graffiti related. And if you want to keep up with what I'm doing daily, I post daily story updates, Q&As, always posting about what like commission work I'm doing over on Instagram. So go follow me over on there. But anyway guys, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.